Hey guys, the good, the bad and the buggy here with some tips at playing Clash. First of all, let's go over the game mode. This game mode is essentially rounds of attack and defend, with the winner of the last round going forward to choose the next location they want to attack. The game is won by either winning 7 rounds of attack and defend, or by capturing the enemy's HQ, whereas a round is won by either wiping out the enemy team, or by capturing or holding onto the current objective being fought over. The airdrop does one of two things in this game mode, depending if you're attacking or defending. For the attacking team, it will allow all members of the team who have died before the capture took place to respawn, but this can only happen after 30 seconds have passed, and at least one member of the team must still be alive to allow the others to respawn. So if the attackers get the airdrop, the defenders should quickly hunt down any survivors before they have a chance to respawn. When fighting over a neutral zone, both teams will collect this ability. If the defending team captures the airdrop, it will reduce a timer to 90 seconds. So the game is set out with each team controlling their HQ and 2 points in front of it. There are usually 3 nodes in the middle of the map, but some maps have just 2. These are neutral, so capturing these will play slightly differently than a regular round by having both teams attacking the node. For this reason, when fighting over a neutral node, I would always recommend a quicker play, because if someone is going for a long flank, this can remove them from the round should they be too far away when you make a fast attempt at capturing the objective. You can also run forward confident in the fact that the enemy team started at an equal distance away. This will help you map out in your head the furthest an enemy could have pushed up in the given time. For example, if you have sprinted forward 80 meters as soon as the game has started, the maximum distance an enemy could have moved is another 80 meters. So if you remember that there's roughly 100 meter distance between each objective, this should let you know that the closest possible enemy could be is now within 40 meters of you. So you should be getting ready to make contact with the enemy if you haven't already. But as I said, rushing I find works best on these rounds, as most players are really wary of moving forward quickly. They would rather take a little bit longer to move around a flank. This will give you and hopefully one other member of your team the time needed to get onto the capture point and capture it before the enemy can make their move. Be careful, because as soon as you start to capture the objective though, there will be an announcement to the enemy team who should start sprinting towards the point to deny you capturing it. But if you have moved fast onto the point, you should be able to work out where the enemy is coming from, letting you place cover between yourself and them and be able to pre-aim the spots that they should come out from. Throwing smoke grenades onto and past the point will make it very hard for the enemy team to be able to deny this sort of play, unless they themselves are doing it. In this instance, a round will turn into a brawl close to the objective, where whoever has the better aim should win. Once you have won the first round, most commanders will then capture the other neutral objectives. This should be made easier, as you can now have 1 or 2 players spawn on the most recently captured node, and they can move to flank the enemy and engage them as soon as they start to run forward. But if you want to rush the point, I prefer spawning towards the back lines where you just spawned on the last round, as there is no chance of you getting hit on the flank as you move in. Just be more wary this time, as the other team may be expecting you to rush again. If you're one of the guys flanking, try to engage the enemy as soon as they rush towards the point, hitting them on the flank, slowing them down and hopefully killing them. If any make it past you, push along behind them and then move to the point from the direction of the enemy to hopefully catch them looking the wrong way. In a normal round, where a controlled base is being attacked, the most obvious path towards the point is usually being watched, since the defenders can instantly take up positions that will cover the approaches. If you have a DMR and a scope, you can try to counter this play by covering the easy and obvious to defend positions, but the defender will usually have an advantage because they should be able to get to them first. Also, watch out, since some of the bases can be shot into as soon as the round starts, meaning that using the front exits can be a death trap, so I always avoid these. I like to play along the flanks, as you have 10 minutes in a round. This gives you enough time to push way out on the extreme flank before moving back in towards the fight. Just remember not to put too much distance that it removes you from helping your teammates by covering an arc, or you're too slow to respond to the enemy's movements. So when moving forward, avoid open ground such as the middle of a field or the side of a hill. These often have as little cover and you'll be really obvious to anyone watching and you'll give away an easy kill. Take a bit longer to move around the edge of the field using the small walls and bushes as cover, and keep an eye on the direction and vantage points that the enemy could be in. To do this easily while moving, press left alt and turn your head. Also, don't sprint all the time, as this makes a lot of noise, and with a bit of game sense, you should be able to work out if an enemy could be close to your position. Things like how long the round has been going on for, where and how the enemy have been playing in the previous rounds, such as are they an aggressive player or do they like to camp in a bush, far or close to the objective, what sort of weapons are they using, since DMR players will tend to hide further away than someone with an assault rifle, for example. When moving in urban environments, don't sprint so much since your footsteps echo really loudly, especially when moving indoors, and should you come under fire, look for broken windows as that's where someone has been shooting from. When on the defence, you have lots of options on how to play the round. You could stay really close to the point. If an entire team does this, you should be able to pretty much lock out every single entrance to the objective, as well as being in a position to provide trades should one person die. But a round can last for ages, and if the enemy gets the airdrop, you could have to kill up to 9 players in one round. How I like to do it is have 1 or 2 defenders slip out the back or spawn on a different base and then go for a long flank, or just wait a while and then move into the base from behind the enemy to catch them. This works really well with a team who is talking and calling out where the enemy is, so the flanking guys can choose the right moment to strike, as this will cause maximum confusion and will really slow down the attackers. But if you do this every round, it should be easy to read and counter. You could also have the entire defending team go for an aggressive push to take the fight to the enemy when they're not expecting you to be this close. This is a very risky move because if you were spotted or caught first, then you lose any advantage that you were trying to gain, but should it work you can win the round within the first minute. Since the airdrop can swing around in either team's favour, it's often important to capture it or control it. By control it, I mean have someone who can see it and is in a good firing position onto the airdrop or the approaches to the drop. This will deny the enemy team capturing the drop without the risk of losing a player trying to make the same capture. If you're going to try to make the capture, throw smoke grenades around the drop to give you some cover if you think it's being watched. But doing this will provide an audio and visual clue that there is something about to happen. The attacking team can also bait the defenders into thinking the point is being captured. To do this, simply run into the capture point and then run away. This will let the defenders know that the point is being attacked and will often come sprinting towards it if they are far away from the point. If they're closer, they might just slowly move into a position where they can see the point, giving you a small window to take them out. You can also do this to pull them around the map. If you know there's 1 or 2 guys watching the airdrop and neither of them watching the point, begin the capture of the point, then you can double back and retake the airdrop. A common situation you'll find yourself in is when you're the last man on your team. In this sort of situation, it's still possible to win the round. All you need to do is play smart and keep the other team guessing where you are. Don't worry about the rest of your team watching you. If they're good teammates, they will have said where whoever killed them was, so you have some idea where you can hunt someone down. Try to get the airdrop if you can, as having your team spawn will help flip the round back in your favour. But bear in mind that the other team is probably watching the airdrop, hoping to bait you out and kill you as you go for it, so always approach with caution. What I like to do is do a wide sweep of the area to find these people who are camping it. Alternatively, you can camp the drop yourself and hope one of the defenders makes a move on it, which should gift you a kill and make anyone else going for it pretty wary. The important thing is don't get pinned down in a building, as it's really easy to trap someone inside and keep pulling the defenders all over the place so they don't know where you're going to come from. Just try to be at least 1 step ahead. Think of what you would do if you were the defenders and attacker, and then think of a counterplay to this. For this game mode, I like to play with DMRs and tier 3 scopes. Because this mode has the potential for really long range engagements, the better scopes will let you scan the bushes and trees at ranges much more effectively and denying the enemy some good hiding spots. DMRs are also pretty powerful at range and really accurate. Some also have a full auto setting, helping in the urban sections. LSWs are pretty good on these maps as well, as you can hold down long range accurate fire and even spray like mad when it comes to it. Smoke grenades, I would always argue, are best for this game mode, and they have a lot more uses since they are able to give you cover when moving forward, get you out of positions should you get pinned down, or as a way to trick your opponent by throwing it in a completely opposite direction of where you're going to be moving. This game mode is all about communication, so always be talking to your teammates and marking the enemy position by pressing T. Sometimes it's even best to mark before you start shooting, just in case the enemy gets a good shot on you. Bear in mind that you don't need to rush your shooting, you can take your time to plan your shot. There's no need to shoot if you can move into a better position if you have not been seen yet. Mark the enemy so allies know about them too, and one of them might be in a better position to take the enemy out. Be constantly looking at your map as well. This provides a lot of information on where your teammates are. You can work out where you need to be looking yourself in relation to what your allies have covered. One last little hint, I'd recommend when shooting over a large rock or out of a window to stand yourself up to your full height, hold control and press W. That'll pull your character up a little bit higher, as the last thing you want to do is try and shoot the enemy and hit the cover in front of you, giving away your position. And also try and be the best team player you can possibly be. Even if your allies are not giving you any information, just try and keep passing information on to them. They might be shy or they just don't speak your language, which in that case it's fair enough. Just try and be the best player you can be and don't flame on your team, as that doesn't help anyone. Thanks for listening, hope this helped. Let us know what you think in the comments or have any other feedback. See you around.